as players to live your dream, whether it's to play in it or to manage in it, to coach in it. And so I understand what he is saying. He certainly has his hands full when it comes to this Qatar team. Now keep in mind, at some point there has to be proof of concept when it comes to the amount of attention and, let's be honest, the amount of money that some of these countries and some of these areas are putting into the game. Qatar hosting the World Cup, putting a tremendous amount of money internationally into the game. Can it translate to their team on the field? Remains to be seen, but so far the results haven't been great. But another 4 years on, can we see a different type of Qatar here today against, as we said, a formidable opponent in the Swiss?
Thierry, we started the day by saying, you said how horrible it is to play against Switzerland. Are they one of those teams that somehow cultivates a bit of a club culture as a country?
What they do, they believe in what they created, and as you said, Alexei, earlier, that when they have a team, they have it for a very long time. They don't change a lot. That's how you create cohesion and understanding in the team also. But yeah, they managed to get some. Their coach, by the way, was a very good player. Zlatan, I'm sure you played against him. But they find a way to be relevant, and it's not easy. It's a very small country, but they do have good players. It's a mixed country also, with people coming from different reasons, but they embrace the fact that they're all from Swiss, and that's also very important.
You can see there the player escorts sponsored by Quaker in the tunnel. Granit Xhaka about to lead out Switzerland for the Swiss.
They're all from Swiss, and that's also very important.
You can see there the player escorts sponsored by Quaker. Zlatan, real quick, is this a chance against a team like Qatar, yet to get a point in any World Cup ever, Zlatan? If they can get the victory, not only get the victory, but make hay while the sun shines, try and get that goal difference up.
Yes, I mean, like I said before, probably Switzerland is going to be first in this group, and this is a game when you can make a big impact with the goal difference, and I don't think they will invite Qatar in the game and let them do their thing. And I would think Switzerland is gonna do their thing and just go out there and win the game.
Again, with 48 teams at a World Cup, when you have opportunities, not to take your foot off the pedal necessarily, not necessarily to rest, but to do things that are going to give you longevity in a tournament. We have this new round of 32. You take them when they are presented. To your point, Rebecca, this is an opportunity for Switzerland to come out, bam, get that 3 points, and now you're well on your way into the knockout stage. Yes, you have more work to do, but this is almost a gift of an opening game for the Swiss. And I know we're hammering on Qatar right now, but that's just the reality of the situation right here. But things can happen in a World Cup.
And last time Qatar played the World Cup, they had 0 points. They were hosting the World Cup, so mentally, I think they're happy to be in the World Cup, obviously, and for sure they will try to do something more than the last World Cup they played.
Yeah, absolutely right. Switzerland, steady Switzerland, they're often called. They've reached the last 3 World Cup knockout stages, and by the way, the only other 3 countries to have done that, Brazil, France and Argentina. So you know what you get, right, Thierry, with them?
Exactly that. Exactly like the watch that they make. They're on time.
First game for Switzerland and Qatar this morning. Now that man has been around the block, Granit Xhaka. Zlatan, talk to us about him, right? The leader?
This is the leader, strong character. He's a winner, and he has been showing it in every club he played, even in the national team. And he's the guy to lead out the team and show the way.
Granit Xhaka, this is his 4th World Cup. He is the all-time appearance maker for Switzerland as we await these 2 teams to head out on the field. Don't forget, we've got a whole day of football for you coming up. We've got Brazil, Morocco.
He put some gel in the hair.
A bit later on, he's got your gel.
He's not using my gel. It's different.
A whole nother level of gel, right?
Nah, it looks good. It looks good.
They're ready.
Please welcome today's 2 teams, Qatar and Switzerland. Please rise if you are able for the playing of the national anthem of Qatar. Please rise if you are able for the playing of the national anthem of Qatar. Please remain standing if you are able for the playing of the national anthem of Switzerland.
So can Switzerland start off strongly? Qatar hoping to finally avoid defeat in a World Cup match. Derek Ray and Rob Green will be with you after this short break in the Bay Area.
Chevy.
During ads, I will turn it off just so we don't have the ad audio going.
dropping anchor in the beautiful Bay Area for the first time at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And the temperature set to sizzle here in Santa Clara as the hosts from 4 years ago, Qatar, face the team regarded by many as Group B favourites, Switzerland. As the VAR centre with Guillermo Pacheco, the Mexican, on duty. Qatar, the back-to-back Asian champions. Many of their players naturalised Qatari citizens, the likes of Portuguese-born Pedro Miguel and Belgian-born Edmilson. But the star man is Akram Afif from the capital Doha, twice the Asian Player of the Year. Clever, highly technical, always a potential match winner. In attack, Yusuf Abdurisak has been preferred to record scorer Almoez Ali. Switzerland have 17 in their squad from the Qatar World Cup, joint most with Argentina, and a special day this for Granit Xhaka and Ricardo Rodriguez, setting a new record for appearances by Swiss players in this tournament. 13, great friends both, by the way. Xhaka quite vocal about what he thought was a below par 1-1 draw with Australia in the final warm-up game. Breel Embolo, formidable in attack in his usual place. At the microphone here on Fox, Derek Ray, joined throughout the tournament, I'm delighted to say, by former England goalkeeper Rob Green. Afternoon, Rob.
Afternoon, Derek. Hello, everyone.
And I think you're in the camp that says Switzerland can go very far at this World Cup.
Yeah, you're looking at a team with real continuity. You mentioned the stats there of players who've been in this situation before, none more so than Granit Xhaka and Rodrigo Rodriguez. And you're looking at a side that's got a really good balance, a wonderful threat as well as a man in form with Breel Embolo, and they're to look. And it's interesting you talk about the levels that they're setting. Granit Xhaka will set that, and listening to Alexi Lalas before the game, this is a chance for them to really make a mark early doors in this tournament.
Well, Qatar was so disappointing on the pitch when they hosted the World Cup in 2022. Just didn't get their act together, unable to pick up a point, determined to get things right this time around here in North America. The countdown is on, and here we go, the opening match of this World Cup weekend. Under the baking hot California sun, it is a high noon local time confrontation here in the Bay Area. Qatar did beat Switzerland in the only previous meeting of the countries in Lugano in 2018, thanks to a goal from Akram Afif. And he is the key figure still for Qatar. Whether that friendly represents any sort of roadmap for this competitive game, we shall see. Switzerland in their change kicks and trying to get onto the front foot early on. They have Breel Embolo in the vicinity. And Qatar expected to be on the back foot for much of this match. Look to soak up the pressure and hit on the break whenever they can. Manuel Akanji is the defensive chief for Switzerland. Gregor Kobel in goal. Not many better goalkeepers in the Bundesliga this season than Kobel of Dortmund. Rob, for you, what will be important in this match?
Yeah, it's interesting that you're looking at Switzerland and they'll switch between a 4 at the back and a 3, and when they're in good possession, these two centre-halves, Akanji and Elvedi, will look to just dictate play. And then from there, how are they going to create the chances? We're looking at Qatar. We know they're going to be in this shape. They're going to sit in deep. Look to this man, Akram Afif, to get out. And this is how Qatar will look to cause their problems, just breaking through him and trying to break beyond the Switzerland press.
Twice the Asian Footballer of the Year, Akram Afif. And an opening here. And Switzerland all at 6s and 7s. My goodness, Edmilson. Acres of green space for the man born in Belgium. His dad a Brazilian who played his football in Belgium. Well, it was very nearly an awful moment for the Swiss. Thundered away there by Pedro Miguel. born in Portugal, naturalised Qatari citizen. How about this, Rob?
Yeah, what a miss. And you're looking at Akanji with a real slip, and you're thinking you've got to score from here. Just didn't really have the connection, didn't have the touch out of his feet. He's having to flick it rather than stroke it home with the inside of his foot, and you have to put that down as a big opportunity for Qatar to steal a march in this game.
Opportunity to set the tone, but squandered by Edmilson. Don't expect the pace to be all that blistering given the weather conditions. Certainly for Switzerland, their players not really accustomed to this. More so Qatar might not mind this extra hot California weather. Offside the verdict here. 3 minutes in. And a bit of a scare for Switzerland, almost right off the bat.
Looking at the offside there, but that's how they're going to have to create the space. The combinations out wide for Switzerland, looking at overloads out wide and then crosses into the box for Embolo. Qatar are really poor at defending set pieces and crosses, and that's where Embolo, you think, is going to come in. He's very good, hanging around the goal, waiting for his opportunity and then striking.
Remo Freuler is the man who operates beside Granit Xhaka in central midfield for Switzerland. There's Ricardo Rodriguez. Like Xhaka, 13th World Cup tournament match appearance. So Swiss records for the pair of them. They managed to get past Xherdan Shaqiri. They'll look to get Denis Zakaria forward, who plays for Monaco, club captain of Monaco.
It's an interesting choice at right back. Sometimes plays at centre back, but more often predominantly in the centre of midfield. So I think Qatar can leave him out there and say, if there's anyone we can leave, it's you. He's not going to have the creative flair.
Rodriguez, who sent it in, and came off with the diminutive figure of Hassan Madibo. Early sparring stages. Switzerland 13th World Cup, 6th in a row. Regular participants at major tournaments. Tend to get out of the group and then not do too much more, but certainly talking to a lot of my Swiss friends, they've been saying quarterfinals should be realistic, and I think there's quite a bit of buzz about Switzerland winning this group, or at least being in a good position to do so. And a shot does come in here from Ndoye, forcing the save there from Abounadah. Does grind to a halt. Ndoye has been in great form for Switzerland. Didn't play all that much for Nottingham Forest during the season.
Yeah, really sharp from him. I mean, it is a long ball over, and you see the run top of the screen. He's just going to go, and hopefully the ball is going to be in front of him. It just isn't, and that drags him a little bit wide. Abounadah had to be sharp down to his right. You just see the space that's there for him. Brilliant view from the ref's cam. Just sharp save down to his right. But that's the threat. Go forwards early. Get your strike away, because by the time Qatar are set, it's going to be difficult to break them down.
The pace of Ndoye, a huge asset to the Swiss. There's Julen Lopetegui. Remember him as the man who was supposed to coach Spain at the 2018 World Cup. I've been having conversations with Real Madrid, didn't sit well. Does feel that, in a sense, he was owed a World Cup opportunity, but this is his chance. Highly experienced coaching figure.
I'll be pleased with the start. Qatar have made just the one chance against them, but more importantly, they proved a little bit of a threat when they went forward. They're going to slow the game down as much as they can, because they know they're going to be under pressure for long periods in here.
Qatar's second World Cup. First one they've qualified for, as opposed to hosting. And Boualem Khouhi, what was required from Khouhi, born in Algeria. He's been playing his football in Qatar since 2009. What an entertaining figure, Julen Lopetegui, when you listen to his press conferences.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a bind on because they haven't really got the physical presence up front to hit the players forward early. We've seen 1 or 2 balls go forward and they've gone to no one. They need to play out from the back, but it's having that confidence to get the players on the ball, getting Afif on the chance to turn and get players beyond him. Because knocking it forward is just going to keep coming back.
Zakaria. It's been an open question. Switzerland, would it be a back 3 or a back 4? It used to be a back 4 side, but have gone to the 3 in more recent times.
This is an opportunity now for Switzerland. Rodriguez coming over to take this. Qatar have suffered game after game with corners, with set pieces. Embolo, Akanji, Elvedi all lining up around the penalty spot.
Rodriguez with it. See if the Qataris can deal with it. Jumped on partially. Dirisak is joining in with the defending. They want to get this man on the ball. Akram Afif almost glides through. Certainly the man for assists as well as goals. Of course, for Switzerland, so much goes through Granit Xhaka. Great season with Sunderland. Without his presence, I think it's fair to say they wouldn't have made it into European competition. He is a leader. He's not afraid to make controversial statements in a bid to fire everybody up. Xhaka, the fulcrum. Michel Edija has become a very important member of this Swiss team and highly versatile. Nico Elvedi, Manuel Akanji, Rosenthal and Vargas can be threats. Rodriguez, that's it! The shot was on for Ndoye.
Really good play from Switzerland. Work the space out wide, the combination out wide and the cutback, the acres of space, and from there it's got to hit the target, leaning back on his weaker foot. Absolutely no confidence over the strike whatsoever. They scored some goals for Switzerland in recent times, but very few for Nottingham Forest, and that there showed a man short of confidence.
Joined Nottingham Forest from Bologna. We had much better luck. So 0-0. 10 minutes on the stopwatch. Coming to you from the delightful Bay Area. Just about an hour to the south of the great city of San Francisco. And that was bound to be a free kick to Switzerland. And he didn't much like it, did he? Jassim Jabbar.
Pleading his case, and he's a lucky boy not to get a yellow card, more so for the area that he's given away the foul in there. And there's contact, it's gone down, it's a tackle from behind. I can't see how it isn't a yellow card, but another opportunity for Switzerland.
Ruben Vargas at the controls. He's been with Sevilla in Spain. Everyone's guessed where he's going to end up going forward.
You've got the feeling he's going to have a shot here. He's eyeing this up. Just fire it at the goal and get bodies across the goalkeeper.
Ruben Vargas for Switzerland. That very nearly came off for them. Into the clutches of Abunada.
Got behind it eventually, but you're looking, you're thinking there's enough players getting across that there. A big opportunity for Switzerland just to get a touch on it.
There is Zakaria. Controlling the flow of the game. That was entirely to be expected, the Swiss. And with Vargas on that side, he rather thought it was going to spin with a play for the corner. Xhaka doing his best to win the ball. This is the problem for opponents of Switzerland. The press is often very high.
Yeah, they've got a real problem in here now that they're playing within 30 yards of their own goal when they're winning the ball. This is where Switzerland are working it out now.
Dan and Doy. There's Ebischer. Trying to play the ball through the legs of Homam Ahmed, who's got the nod at left back ahead of Sultan Al-Breik in this constellation for Qatar. And Ebischer, Zakaria, tantalising one, and down. The referee was right on the spot and says penalty. That was almost slow motion in there, but clear foul play and two injured parties. Freuler made that move towards the ball. Abounadah down, but a penalty to Switzerland.
Yeah, it's a clear penalty. Unfortunate for Abounadah in the goal, because you just feel just about onside for Embolo. Freuler might well be offside there. That second movement is given a penalty. It will obviously be checked by VAR. Abounadah has to go for it, has to make contact once he doesn't get there first. But I do feel Freuler will be offside.
Yeah, they are checking for possible offside in the lead-up to that penalty award by Said Martinez, the Honduran referee. The delay here is a lengthy one.
This is what a concern from the kickoff. The crosses into the box were meat and drink for Embolo. Freuler gets there. Abounadah, as soon as he makes contact, that's a heavy blow on him more than Freuler. He knows it right now, just in recovery, but he's going to get a let-off.
Well, let's bring in our expert when it comes to the laws, Mark Clattenburg. Mark.
Well, first of all, the VAR has to check two phases. There's two potential offsides in the build-up. I don't think there's any doubt in the penalty kick. The only argument people can argue and say, has the goalkeeper denied an obvious goal-scoring opportunity? However, the goalkeeper makes a genuine attempt for the ball, so therefore that's why it will not be given as a red card. If it wasn't a genuine attempt, the goalkeeper could have been sent off, but this was a genuine attempt, so the goalkeeper will not be sent off, and a penalty kick will be the full justification.
Yes, thank you, Mark, for clearing that up. Had it been grabbing or tripping or something like that, different story, but as Mark said, genuine attempt. And a penalty it will be for Switzerland. Zakaria holding on to the ball, but he was never going to be the man to take it. Maybe Breel Embolo. And the card does come out. Yellow for Abounadah.
He does the walk up, very slow penalty for Embolo. Shows all his confidence that he's got. Missed one to the goalkeeper's right, but has put every other since to the keeper's left. So we'll see where he goes.
So here it is, Breel Embolo versus Mahmoud Abounadah. Referee's still not happy. Said Martinez. And Breel Embolo! Switzerland have arrived punctually at this World Cup. Embolo for 1-0.
Cool as you like in the Californian heat. Just waits for Abounadah to go to one side, just watching him and then commits to the other. Provided the opportunity with the header from the cross. Converts it himself. Switzerland are on their way.
Very happy, Murat Yakin. And Hopschwitz is the cry here in the Bay Area. That's the traditional cry of Swiss fans. Basically means, let's go Switzerland. There's 4 official languages, so that's the German variant. 1-0 to Switzerland. Is it going to be a long day in the sun here for Qatar? Did make a decent start and gave Switzerland a bit of a fright. Embolo has now scored in 4 successive major tournaments. Does represent the most formidable goal threat. Edmilson, who had that chance right at the beginning of the game. My goodness, he would love to have that moment back.
You go back to that chance, don't you, Derek? And you just wonder, Qatar, the belief would have grown. Now they've got to really dig deep, ask a different question. Just say, can we get ourselves back into this game? Because since that moment, they've been on the back foot.
Confirmation of the earlier yellow card for Abunada. Switzerland unbeaten in 9 successive World Cup matches when scoring first. Akram Afif trying to bring authority to the game. To be fair, he usually does just that. Made his debut back in September of 2015 for Qatar, for the Maroons. And their first choice kit. Switzerland in this unusual light green, which hasn't pleased all of the critics. German magazine Elf Freunde recently described it as the most hideous strip in World Cup history.
Well, Derek, today's hideous kit is tomorrow's classic. So go off and get yourself one downstairs.
That's how it works. And he will say, just think back to the strip Alexi Lalas and his teammates wore back in the old days. Nico Elvedi of Borussia Mönchengladbach. Gianni Infantino, the president of FIFA, is here, of course, in a neutral capacity, but does hail from Switzerland.
He's got his mint green top underneath.
Embolo's penalty goal, the difference. There's Ebisha. Denied there by Abunada.
Sharp save. He'll feel better for that after giving away the penalty. But the chances are flowing for Switzerland. The movement they've got, they've worked it out. They've got to create an overload out wide. You can see down below here now how many players they've got wide and how little pressure is on the ball. They've got the freedom of the pitch at the minute.
Ruben Vargas, and the immediate block by Jassim Jaber.
It's just a wonderful bit of football, a lovely dummy from Zakaria, and then Embolo, I think, would have actually wanted the ball himself for that opportunity. Abunada standing at the near post and making himself big.
Gregor Kobert finally escaped the considerable shadow of Jan Sommer as his understudy. Now the first choice for Switzerland. He's been at Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga for 5 years. Ebisha, very important intervention. And Ebisha again here for the Swiss. Elvedi and Akanji, double winner with Inter. Thwarted illegally. It's another errant moment for Djeber, and a yellow card.
Wasn't his first, was it, out there this time on Vargas? Just a quick step over, too quick for him, and they've got real problems now, Qatar, in that their overloads are on out wide, and when they haven't got the players out there, they're having to commit, just chasing shadows a little bit.
I'm not sure he can really complain too much. As Rob said, it wasn't his first offence. Midway through the first half, Switzerland in control.
This is a bit wider than the free kick Vargas had before. I don't think anything changes really here. He's just going to shoot at this man and wait for his players to get across him. He's really, really tough as a keeper.
Vargas. It could have been troublesome for Abounadah, having to rely on Djeber just in front of him.
And it was just a strike at goal again, and it's Akanji just not getting that touch on it. From them opening moments, it's been all Switzerland.
Hot day here in the Bay Area, and it is hydration break time. Switzerland in front, Freuler going down, penalty awarded, dispatched by Breel Embolo.
Turn off those ads for a second.
Really not having too much to say for themselves in an attacking sense. Abounadah, who was cautioned in the aftermath of that spot kick award. And a corner here for the Swiss, which Ruben Vargas will be responsible for. Freuler had made the move to pick it up. Here's Rodriguez. And comfortable into the gloves of Abounadah. A reminder coming up on Fox, more World Cup action, starting with Vinny Jr. and Brazil against Morocco And then the return of Scotland to the World Cup. First time since 1998 against Haiti. And those games will follow this one, a full day of World Cup play. They've landed, Rob, with not just a Scottish on-air partner, but a Scottish producer next to us.
I'm outnumbered, yeah. Only one focus for our group really this evening. Should be something that would be quite intense because the importance is there already for Scotland.
We have a special kilt ready in your honour, Rob. Whether you choose to wear it, that's up to you. Away there by Pedro Miguel for Qatar. Akanji doesn't get caught too often. Said Martinez just trying to make it clear exactly what was in his thoughts. The referee from Honduras.
Just the bounce for Akanji. Now Vedi wasn't quite sure what to do. It's just sticking in the very dry grass now.
And Pedro Miguel spoke to Julen Lopetegui yesterday about the importance of set plays. He said, yeah, absolutely. Have to be on top of them in an attacking sense. And it was aimed towards the striker, Abdurizak. And another set play possibility here. Elvedi was put to work.
FIFA will come over to take it, but who the centre back will be the main target. He's drifting to the far post. Him and Pedro Miguel are two threats. They do have that threat. They do have the quality of the corner from Akram Afif.
Here is Akram Afif. Trying to test the Swiss defence here. That ball that was sent in towards Laye, as he calls himself. See Gay on the back of the shirt, but Issa Laye. And another little stoppage. Let's see what transpired, Rob.
Onto his own man, Pedro Miguel. Just caught the back. His teammate, Alamin. It's awkward because he wouldn't have known it was there. He wouldn't have seen it. I think that's the thing that's caught him. As much as the collision, it's the lack of awareness of where his teammate was and was completely incapacitated straight away.
I haven't spoken too much about this man, Murat Yakin. And I do enjoy his media appearances. He does everything with a little twinkle in the eye. And he was a fantastic defender back in the day. As a coach at club level, guided FC Basel to the Swiss title 2013 and 2014. When he took over in 2021, he was actually coaching in the second tier in Switzerland, coaching Schaffhausen.
Looking movements there, just not quite getting it right between them and glide themselves off. Murat Yakin has been quietly confident in his team, hasn't he? He's built up this squad. He's lost the likes of Sommer, Shaqiri and Cher, the retirees from the last tournaments, but looking and saying the continuity's there. The expectation is also there for Switzerland, that they're thinking that this team now, with the balance that they've got, really can do some damage.
Yeah, there's a strong feeling that could go as far as the quarter-finals. Well, remember, we have some little tweaks to the law, and Pedro Miguel, after getting injured, now finds himself by the touchline. Let's bring in Mark Clattenburg again. Mark?
Yeah, this was to stop players who, fear injury. Unfortunately, I think there should be a slight tweak, because when a player is accidentally caught like this, he should be allowed on the field to play immediately, and he was allowed on the field, so common sense has prevailed. When players are trying to cheat and go down injured, then a minute should be ample time for them to serve this punishment.
Just gives them enough time to think to themselves, yeah, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. Xhaka out to that far side to Rodriguez. Akanji. Players having to conserve their energy. This is hot for this part of the country. I was talking to a friend up in San Francisco earlier who's saying it's a very cool 70 degrees in San Francisco. Well, it's a lot hotter than 70 just down here an hour away in Santa Clara, Rob.
It's a lot hotter when you haven't got the ball as well. So despite where they're coming from and their surroundings, will be feeling this.
Lady, in a decade at Borussia Mönchengladbach. Actually did an internship in the business office at Gladbach. He was trying to establish himself as a young professional. The statistics really speak for themselves there.
Looking complete dominance really after that initial chance from Qatar, and this is the problem, is that they don't want to go long. They want to play out, but they haven't got the confidence to do it, and they just keep giving the ball back.
Vargas. Plenty of the ball in this first half. Comes again, and Pukki position just in front of Abunadar. Zakaria for Switzerland. Ndoye. Two players onto him swiftly. Elvedi. Ndoye. The block that time was by Laye. For Qatar. Xhaka. Here's Edisha.
He's gone in as auxiliary centre-back now, so it's 5 at the back, sometimes 6 and sometimes more, and they just cannot get the pressure on the ball now, Qatar. Looking here, Rodriguez and Akanji, these are the centre-backs, these are the defenders from Switzerland, that's how high they are.
Plenty for the Qatari players to contemplate against the ball. Akanji for Xhaka. She tried to play it through. Mbolo with that flick. And it did look on for Ndoye again.
Never just got quite out of his feet, but he'll be pleased. He'll be pleased with the patience that they're showing. Picking the moments is clever from Mbolo. A bit of a touch off the deflection. Though he was never really set for it, but they're picking the moments, picking the time, Switzerland, and it's getting tougher and tougher for Qatar. You're feeling this is going to be a big 15 minutes now to get through to half-time at 1-0. Again, they've gone long, Derek, and it's just coming straight back. They need to play out, they need to play football. You may lose the ball, but at least you're trying.
Zakaria. Across the face of goal. And the referee was right on the spot. It was Ayoub Alaoui who got the touch on it. Wouldn't have mattered.
Pedro Miguel's just seeing the middle of the goal that Mbolo's just caught his heels, brought him down. It's a bit of relief there for Qatar. You're just feeling that they're beginning to feel the heat, beginning to feel the pressure from Switzerland.
Mbolo's penalty goal, the difference, actually the first penalty taken and converted by the Swiss at the World Cup outside of penalty shootouts.
Seeing Darren Ndoye getting fouled again, he's just feeling coming second best and slower to the ball now, Qatar.
Got the feeling that Vargas is demanding the ball. It's in danger of overrunning that one. Apparently go behind.
This is where Qatar need to change now. They've got to get players on the ball. They've got to get passing. They just go too far, as you were saying, Derek. Said in code, the commentator's code, that you thought it got out, but you're just feeling they need to play out now. They can't just launch it forward. This is better. They might not get it right, but
Ndoi, and one more time. Ndoi on the ground. And the fans entertaining themselves on this Saturday afternoon here in the Bay Area. Vargas Rodriguez. And the goal kick is the outcome. Those of us from the United Kingdom tend to call what you refer to as the wave, the Mexican wave, and many ask me, why do you call it the Mexican wave? What has it got to do with Mexico? And the answer is, and you know this, Rob, we discovered it in our part of the world during the 1986 World Cup in Mexico.
My first ever World Cup I can remember, and this is what I can remember from it, along with Maradona ruining England's dreams.
And then I came to this country a few years after that and was politely informed that it had been invented in the USA before it reached Mexican shores. So there you go. Well, coming up, the Visa halftime show on Fox with Rebecca Lowe, Thierry Henry, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Alexi Lalas. Plenty for the team to chew on. And Ndoi, lost count, Robert, the number of times Ndoi has gone to ground in this first half.
Interesting to hear from the guys at half-time to see how they feel that Qatar can get back into the game, get back in, just get a foot on the ball, a hold on the ball. Feels fairly relentless the past 20 minutes or so.
Xhaka. To his good pal Rodriguez. They go back a long way, those two best friends in football and in life, I think. Kanji. More defending for Qatar to do. Ladibo was funneled there by the aforementioned Rodriguez, but the quick ball win. Here is Zakaria. Ndoi. Plenty of Swiss possession in this first half. Zakaria. Certainly there were loud calls for his inclusion into this game. That's one of the big talking points amongst Swiss media colleagues. Lady. Good structure to Switzerland these days, and they keep it variable. They keep the position on their toes. Edisha arriving on the scene. Aponada had to throw himself at that one.
Awkward for Aponada. He's done really well because he's not quite managed to hold it, but he's managed to get beyond the near post, get in front of the near post to make sure it wasn't going in. Half step back and he's ending up in the back of the net with the ball. Again, the ball out wide for Switzerland, the crosses.
Vargas has come over to this near side to take it. Plenty of movement in there, Vargas curling it away. Embolo latched onto it. And maybe the counter-attacking possibility for Abdul-Razak, who was brought down, and the card has come out here. Zakaria walks away from the scene of the crime.
Calculated foul from Zakaria, correct decision. He wasn't that much in front of Abdul-Razak. He just feel when they do go forward, they need to go forward in 3s and 4s, so they've got to keep the ball to get going forwards within numbers. If they go on their own, it's such a long way from goal.
Lae for Huhi. Rodriguez hasn't had too much defensive work to worry about. 1-0 to Switzerland, approaching half-time. You think of Switzerland in the heat at the World Cup. If you know your history, you go back to 1954, that classic against Austria in the heat in Lausanne. 7-5 and finished to Austria. Here's a chance for Qatar, and it was Edmilson. His second look at goal, and it came out of very little.
Yeah, Edmilson again. He's looked the most likely. Wasn't the cleanest of strikes, but he gets the shot away. Goebel's actually going to his left because he reads the strike as a better strike than what it is. There's a bit of a shank, a bit of a mishit, and almost catches him out. But they kept it for 3-4 passes and opened up Switzerland. It's something they've just got to keep on trying, Qatar, if they want to get back into this game. There's signs, there's little openings.
Still inclined to be in debating mode here. Akram Afif. The ball is in position. Akram Afif with it. There's the left back who played that one in, Homam Ahmed. Just a reminder, tomorrow on Fox, it's action from Group E and Group F. Germany against Curaçao and the Netherlands versus Japan. That's tomorrow, coverage beginning at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. A big day here at the World Cup. Applies pretty much to every day. And this time on the left. He does switch with Vargas from time to time in a bid to perplex the opposition. Akram Afif going down, and Rodriguez is there to offer him a helping hand.
Yeah, just Ndoye going on that left-hand side, watching Vargas. He's just come in one too many times, Vargas, and I think Yakin down on the touchline has told Ndoye to switch. So a different problem.
Wilson's up there again. They went for that quick ball forward. Trying to catch out Switzerland. Really good bedded in Swiss squad. Plenty of continuity. As you said earlier, Rob, they probably will want to bring in younger players after this tournament. A few younger players waiting in the wings, but it's a pretty useful balance that they have.
You're looking at a side that know what they're about, know how to get the best out of each other.
6 minutes to be added on at the end of the half. Rodriguez, Baby Shah taking over, and Abunadar flinging himself at it was Ndoye. He was trying to be problematic as far as Qatar are concerned.
It's almost a mirror image of the strike on the other side, and another sharp save from him.
The traffic flow has been very much towards Mahmoud Abunadar. Xhaka. And that almost had a bit of an invitation attached. Embolo. And Xhaka was looking to connect with.
He's done well, Abunadar. He's well judged. He's very, very deep on his line, but just judge that ball and where Embolo was and coming in, and from here it's a really good strike from Ndoye. Just had to make sure he was behind it, get good contact with his hands.
So the possession numbers in Switzerland, as expected, having plenty of the ball. Qatar relying on these transitional moments. Homam Ahmed pulling it back. And Rodriguez, but isn't going to happen for Qatar anyway. That run from the left back, Homam Ahmed.
You wondered when they went 1-0 down how they respond and how they react, and nothing really changes for Qatar really, because they probably take 1-0 down with 5 minutes to go in the game. So actually, they'll be happy if they get to half-time 1 down. Yes, they haven't had a lot of possession. They've had the odd look in, the odd chance, but you're still within a goal, you're still within sight.
Yes, that's what they have to take into half-time if it remains 1-0 to Switzerland. Shots count there. Embolo, and that was beautifully worked, but no end product for Vargas. Close.
Brilliant from Embolo. Wonderful centre-forward hold-up play. Vargas at full tilt. Just couldn't quite get it under control. He's just waiting for his mate, waiting for his teammate. Just couldn't get the touch out of his feet under pressure. Defended in the end, a last-ditch tackle.
First half ebbing away here in the California sunshine. Vargas, the latest delivery, and it bobbles around there. Could easily have been a productive moment for Switzerland. But the referee's whistle audible once again.
It was Freuler, I think, blocked the strike on goal. Could have gone anywhere. This was Vargas coming through and toe. Last moment from Abanudar. I think as a keeper you're giving away a penalty in a 1-0 game, but he's actually had a really good half. He's kept his team in it.
Plays for Al Rayyan. Mentioned earlier that so many of the Qatar players are naturalised citizens, but not Mahmoud Abounadat. Hails from Doha, the capital. Spent quite a lot of time there the last World Cup. Qatar on the pitch trying to do better at this World Cup. They are still in this game, despite the fact that they're trailing. And Emilson has been the, if you like, most active man in attack. He's trying to set something up for Akram Afif. Headed behind by Ndoye, who's now very much on the left with Vargas on the right.
And the two wingers have looked the most likely, haven't they? Emilson and a few corners now. As much as this conversation's been going on down on this the far touchline.
He is ready to play it in. Akram Afif. Oman Ahmed, who just steered it to his right. Wilson was waiting. Targeted kicking there by Abounadat towards Abdurizak. Normally expect to see Almoez Ali from the start, the record goal scorer for Qatar, but not in the initial 11, named by Yulen Lopetegui. Ready for Akanji. Neat and tidy. Embolo has it, steering it back. Oh, it just wouldn't go in. And Ebisha with that shot for Switzerland. Foil.
It's just cool and calm from Embolo, but then wasn't from Ebisha, his teammate. Just needed a good contact on the strike. Pick your spot between the defenders, and he failed.
So there we have it. Breel Embolo from the spot. The one goal of record on this scorching hot day in the Bay Area.
Time 1-0 Switzerland right now still.
Are the 2022 World Cup hosts. Embolo is trying to chase after that one. Akanji. In that very high up position for Switzerland. Ebischer trying to work something, scurrying infield. Ebischer has been playing for Pisa in Italy. And Ndoye, well, it must be in double figures in this match. The number of times Ndoye has found himself on the ground.
They've got a real problem, Qatar again. He won the ball back just before this moment, before this. Nielsen had the ball, he looks forward, and he can see 80 yards of pitch in front of him, and not one Qatari player. They've just got nowhere to go. We've seen a few of these in the first half as well, the wide free kicks fired in at Abu Nida. That first touch is crucial.
Ricardo Rodriguez trying to take it. Lafif been told to move back a metre or two. Ricardo Rodriguez and Akanji was the target that time. Manuel Akanji for Switzerland. And the corner coming up here for the Swiss.
It's Houdi again in amongst it. He's getting up and he's doing so well. It's almost like a one-man defensive blockade with Houdi on these crosses. The feeling that Switzerland, if they get a block on him, they get real joy.
Rodriguez, that deep corner. It was Embolo who went down just as that was developing inside the penalty area. Vargas to throw it back in play. Qatar supporters behind that goal, trying to make themselves heard. Nielsen and Zakaria for company, and well, this might just open up for Abdurizak. Just lost his bearings a bit. Hasn't really had too many opportunities to get himself forward in this game, Rob.
Yeah, no, it's a really difficult position and frustrating and demoralising one for him. Big high balls up against Elvedi, and Akanji just eat it up. Giants of men, and just feel that sometimes, yes, you've got to clear your lines, but you've got to stay brave on the ball and get a few passes in.
Akanji. Does have a World Cup goal to his name. Netted that ill-fated game against Portugal in Qatar last time out, when a number of the Swiss players were under the weather. Certainly adversely affected their plans. Certainly didn't have designs on losing 6-1. There's Ndoye who nodded the ball on, but to no great effect. Embolo trying to do the pursuing, and here's Nico Elvedi. Ebischer for Switzerland. And Xhaka always does it his way. Has tremendous self-belief. Granit Xhaka. The privilege of covering him time and again when he was with Leverkusen, that double-winning season, 23-24 Bundesliga and DFB Pokal. Germany didn't lose a single domestic match. Xhaka was right at the hub of everything for Bayer Leverkusen. Well, somebody's happy there on the back of what the USA did last night against Paraguay.
I don't think he'll be on his own either. Just feeling that this game has just started to drift a bit, and that suits Qatar. They'll be happy with that. Let it drift all the way to 80, 85 minutes and then give the game a go. Throw some bodies on, throw some attacking players on, and ask a question. That would be a shock. Just got to hold the concentration for now.
Akanji with a pass. Berisha. Euler was in there. It was headed away by Pedro Miguel. Akram Afif, again an attempt to get him on the ball. Abdur-Razak has had to do so much chasing without the ball. I wonder if we'll see Almoez Ali at some stage of this game. Vargas to switch on the afterburners, that's all he felt he could do. Just a reminder about the Michelob Ultra Superior Player of the Match. Scan the QR code on the screen to vote for the Michelob Ultra Superior Player of the Match. Probably know the drill by now. Looked as though there might be an attacking possibility for Qatar. Pukki, meanwhile, hit the floor.
He's incensed. Qatar a bit lucky that the game got stopped. Referee Martinez, because there was an opening there for Switzerland to hit them on the break, hit them quickly. He's got his point though, he was fouled in there. He thought it, his manager thought it.
The play to be restarted by means of the front ball here. Substitutions coming up for Qatar. Karim Boudiaf and Ahmed Fatih. The men to come on. Still just the one goal in it. But hasn't really moved at breakneck speed. It's never likely to this first match of the day. Zakaria, the break of the ball, favouring Abdur-Razak. He's looking to find Akram Afif, but to no avail. And Switzerland go into build-up mode once more. Xhaka. And Rodriguez, as I mentioned, very good friends. Rodriguez with that ball in. Both members of the Swiss team in 2009 won the FIFA World Under-17 title. Rodriguez, and the outcome is a corner. Ball coming off Jaber. There's going to be a third player coming on, also Ahmed Alaeddin.
Not just yet. Defend this corner. Get the feeling as long as they don't take Huhi off, then they'll be able to do that.
Can Switzerland find the all-important second goal? It was Vargas. And then Abu Nada was away by Akram Afif. The whistle is sounded. Play is stopped here in the Bay Area. And that will enable Qatar to ring the personnel changes. Look at Younan Lopetegui there. Right beside his three comrades. As I mentioned, Ahmed Fatih, Karim Boudiaf, and also Ahmed Alaeddin. Kassem Jaber, one of the players to have departed. Also, Ayoub Alaoui, Abdur-Razak, no great surprise. Mentioned earlier on, he's really had to commit himself without the ball. Let's see if these switches have the desired effect, Rob.
Yeah, it's a like-for-like swap at centre forward. Looking, Pedro Miguel has come out to right back.
Number 15.
Just to explain, if you look top left on your screen, you'll see a couple of spaces there for Qatar. That applies to the number of substitutions they now have left. Switzerland with a full complement of 5. Qatar have a couple.
Is replaced by player number 20, Ahmed Fatih.
Pedro Miguel's come out to right back and Leigh's dropped into the centre-back. He can do that. He's played at centre-back for the majority of his career. So essentially the shape just stays the same. He's looking to possibly to be a little bit more expansive now. Maybe give the game a go.
Gone past the hour mark. Still just the 1 goal for Switzerland. The penalty scored by Breel Embolo. Hugo Cobra, whose name I think we have perhaps mentioned about 3 times on this entire match, Rob.
Well, he's made a save. He's made a save in there with his feet. And early doors, there's a couple in there, but he has been pretty much a relative success among the thousands here.
Vargas probing to cut in, looking for the free kick, which wasn't forthcoming from Said Martinez. Went back into the well there, Vargas. And this time it will be a free kick.
Really good response. Frustration initially, and then from there to get it back, and he had that little bit of space and wanting to drive. Just feeling that step over and there, and again, who he caught out. The one that's fortunate to escape a yellow card.
Well, that's the way to do it, isn't it? If you don't have the headgear, you have to improvise.
We were down there pitch side before the game, and it is exposed.
Yes.
These guys are suffering a bit.
Certainly a day for the lashings of sun cream. So Vargas to take this free kick. Well, then Vargas, Rodriguez, and well, they couldn't quite get the effective shot in. Now this time perhaps a dropping ball for Ndoye. And they have the guile to open up the Qatari defence. Rodriguez. And such a fine player for Switzerland down the years. Rodriguez, if you're wondering about the name, dad hails from Galicia in Spain, Chilean mum. Born in Zurich in Switzerland.
Just get the feeling, Derek, that there's kind of a Shaqiri-shaped hole in this team. A little bit of trickery, a little bit of invention for Switzerland. I'm just thinking that Manzambi on the bench, he's got something about him, an X factor about him. You'd be expecting to see him soon.
Yes, he is very much the shooting star for Switzerland. Johan Manzambi plays for Freiburg in the Bundesliga.
Okay, next stop, man.
There is a feeling that he perhaps is more effective for the national team coming on as a substitute as opposed to starting. Well, the build-up continues from the Swiss. Defenders backing off. Zakaria taking on Momam Ahmed. Bounedjah wasn't going to be caught out, but actually did go behind, took the touch. And the corner, it's going to be for the Swiss.
He started the game with Rodriguez taking them out wide on the right, swinging them in, and they were proving a problem. They've changed that now. Doesn't really have the same effect.
Well, here we go. Ebisha departs. There is Manzambi. Exciting young footballer. And Boy has also said goodbye to this game. Come back to the substitutions in a moment. Fabian Rieder is on and immediately goes over there to take the corner. This for Augsburg in the Bundesliga. Away by Abunada. This left-footed has actually been used by Augsburg in more of a sitting role by Manuel Baum, the coach there, but he's a ball-playing sitter, ball-playing number 6.
Double substitution.
Can also play higher up.
Just thinking that Manzambi will be the one. He's got the X factor about him. Can shoot from distance. He's out wide on the right. Reader inside. Just in behind him, Bolo.
Just a reminder, more World Cup action coming up on Fox. We have Brazil and Morocco to look forward to. And then the return of Scotland to the World Cup. They'll take on Haiti. And those games will follow this one on this World Cup Saturday. Brazil, Morocco, and Haiti, Scotland. Here's Vargas. For Switzerland. Passed by Pedro Miguel. And Xhaka. Not quite.
Just changed his mind there. Granit Xhaka. I think he was setting to shoot, to cross, and then thought, well, I'll tell you what, I might just have a go. And you see what he's trying, that high drifter into the far corner. Quite get it right.
Well, the players have been instructed that it's time for another hydration break here at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The Swiss fans still happy enough. Are they going to have 3?
Go. Alright, game is back on.
It's the sort of moment they've been waiting for.
Absolutely, him on the ball 30 yards from goal and then execute your little pass, your little clever dink, and he saw it, he had the vision, just didn't execute it. Precious little in this second half. They have to traipse back and get into shape, and you think of just 1 or 2 moments left in the game for them, the way it's gone.
Akanji received it from Freuler that time. And quick feet, and the substitutes trying to make a difference, including Rida, not long on.
He wanted to get it onto his left foot, didn't he? You can see he's just trying to cut back, and it wasn't quite opening up for him. Wonderful little turn, and then from this point now, he's there thinking, I want it on my left, what on my left? If he was on the other side of the pitch, would have shot from 20 yards, 22 yards, and should have been doing with his right regardless.
Fabian Rida, as previously, prior to joining Augsburg and Stuttgart, on loan from Rennes, but didn't have the happiest of times in Stuttgart. Silber has had little to do, he's been underworked. Got at that time from Elvedi, and here is Rodriguez for Switzerland. Xhaka's pass, broken up straight away, and again Akram Afif for Qatar. The problem was solved impeccably by Akanji. Let's see how it goes in the closing stages of this game. Switzerland wouldn't object to coming up with a second goal that might really have the effect of putting this to bed, but at 1-0 it has that, oh, you never quite know feel about it, Rob.
Absolutely. Just beginning to feel a little bit more nervous for Switzerland, and you feel that what they don't want to get into is something where it becomes a really twitchy few minutes at the end of the game.
Remo Freuler has really become a favourite of Murat Yakin. Perfect foil for Granit Xhaka in midfield. Here's Akanji and Rodriguez. Talking of Xhaka, he's always that bit happier when his mate Rodriguez is in the side. They have an intuitive understanding. Zakaria was swivelling. Freuler touching it out to Manzambi. Sufficient enough from Qatar. Boudiaf up there in the defensive position. 35 years of age, vastly experienced. He's originally from the western suburbs of Paris. Nigerian descent. And they try to get themselves onto the front foot. And there's Manzambi having to go back to defend, and that's not ideal against Edmilson for Switzerland. Still alive here. And sometimes it is worth having a pop from long distance. That was the view of Boudiaf, but it didn't work out for him.
It's a poor decision for Boudiaf in the end. Those are the openings they're looking for. Those little bit of moments causing confusion at the back line.
But now space opens up for the sprightly Ruben Vargas. And the save by Abunada.
He's never quite set. Never quite ready for that strike. Never quite got the touch out of his feet onto his right foot. Desperate to get it onto his right, but all of a sudden, game's opened up, the space has opened up.
Manzambi. And the centre can be a game changer. Lovely ball through, and Embolo. Still just the one for Switzerland.
He's got to go with his left, you feel. He's done everything he can with his right foot, and he's still not got the strike on target. From there, that is such a hard skill, A, to get it through the keeper's legs, and then get it on target. This one, too close to Vargas to get the strike and feed it into that far corner.
So here come Qatar again. Boudiaf. Well, we heard Rebecca, Thierry, Zlatan and Alexei at half-time talking about the big decision going back to the penalty award and whether or not there should have been an offside. And I think the more people look at that incident with a fine tooth comb, the more the conclusion is one of that looks suspiciously offside, Rob.
Yeah, I mentioned it straight away in commentary and thought that I was losing my mind a bit. It was not going to be given, and I went to Mark and he was talking about how it wasn't a red card, and I just didn't understand the decision. So I'd be interested to see the guys and see what Thierry and Zlatan and Alexei Lalas have to say after the game.
Qatar still in this, and it was left. It was actually over the head of Ahmed Alaeddin. Not to be for Qatar.
But they're getting forward. They're opening the game up now. These sort of moments, yes, it doesn't quite go off, but you're looking at 3-4 players in the shot, in the screen. You've so often seen 11 players in this game within 20 yards of the Qatari goal. All of a sudden, they're getting bodies forward.
Change coming here for Qatar. He's going to be the exciting Mohamed Manai coming on. Nelvedi, he knew it straight away that he had overcooked that one. A bit too much in the way of the Schnitzel des Nachtzürcher Art, which is a Swiss culinary delicacy. Now here we go with the change. Mohamed Manai coming on. And that will be it for Asim Madibo. So trying to link the play in central midfield. Manai, certainly somebody whose stock is rising. Swiss change at this juncture as well. Zeki Amdouni is on. Vargas has tried his luck a number of times on the left. Had a decent chance just a few minutes ago. Couldn't put it away.
Two like-for-like swaps, really. The two exciting ones. Amdouni, street footballer, someone who's exciting on the ball, dribbler. And Manai as well. He's got room to improve, but his passing ability, his physical presence in midfield. He's got into the attacking midfield, so you've got bodies forward now for Qatar.
An auspicious start to the game by the man we were giving the big build-up to, Manai. He's only 22, hails from Doha. Edmilson there, who's had a couple of opportunities. He's been the man the ball has fallen to for Qatar. He's twice in this game, couldn't avail himself of the chances. And it's Rodriguez here for Switzerland as we approach the final 10 minutes. Amdouni. Freiler. Xhaka, so much goes through him. Just want to bring in Mark Clattenburg to give us a thought or two again about that big incident from earlier in the game. Mark.
Yeah, we must trust the technology. We all this World Cup, so therefore the assistant referee will get a signal on his watch some seconds after the offside is given, and at no point the assistant referee must have got that signal during that phase of play where there was 2 potential offsides. So we must trust the judgment of the technology. However, normally with this technology, FIFA will show a graphic several minutes after the incident to show if he's in an offside position, and at no point in this game yet we have seen that graphic.
Thank you, Mark. We'll be hearing from Mark Clattenburg and Dr. Joe Macknick throughout the World Cup. When it comes to situations such as that one, it is a big talking point. Here's Manzambi, play rages on. Manzambi! At least bringing the game to life. The young star for Switzerland.
Yeah, that's what he's capable of, shooting from distance. Just needs a little bit of magic, a bit of spark in the game now. From there, no pressure on him. Why not? Not quite getting it right there, but he's got the confidence.
Edmilson. And off Freuler. Last of all. Well, we heard Zlatan at half-time talking about the goals factor. It could be important, but first things first, win that opening game. Give yourself a platform to build on. There's Manzambi again. Can do all manner of positive things in an attacking sense. Can play in a number of different positions as well. A bit like Vida, who I mentioned earlier. Manzambi at Freiburg is often deep.
Yep.
But I think with Switzerland, Murat Yakin prefers to have him higher up.
Yeah, and he gave the ball away immediately as well. Got the big send-up. But he is, I think he's better off on this left-hand side and higher up. Get your best players near the goal. He's all of a sudden starting to drift and starting to dictate play. And this is what I was expecting more of him.
He's going to want to make a bit of a statement, Manzambi, and say, OK, you had me on the bench in the first match, but I want to be starting in the second game. Bouni, who gave it that time to Freuler. Zakaria slipped after he released the ball. Freuler again here for Switzerland. Elvedi very high up. Zakaria. Elvedi. Manzambi. The league finalist with Freiburg. Akanji he's trying to work something. Well, he's out of position, but pressure being applied there by Embolo. Through it goes to Abunada. And a reminder that tomorrow on Fox it's Group E and Group F. Germany, Curaçao, Netherlands, Japan. That's tomorrow, starting at noon Eastern. Looking forward to that Germany-Curaçao game. Now, the chase is on here, but it was a fruitless one for Ahmed Ala Eldin.
Well, they're still in this, Qatar. They've stayed in the game. They may just get a couple more sighters.
Oh, Embolo trying to compose himself. Embolo! Well, he's going to be a bit cross with himself, I'm sure.
He was in 3 minds, I think, maybe even more. Changed his mind once, twice, a third time. Eventually just tackled himself. Just get your shot away and ask questions after. Here he is, he's stepping through, and he's done so well. Just to keep the ball, keep on top of the game, keep on top of everything, and they're just there, went for another drag back. Just get your shot away.
Switzerland, by the way, had more shots or attempts today than in any other World Cup match, tournament match in their history. Had 21 against Togo 2006, 21 against West Germany 1966. Here's Manzambi. No joy there. 5 minutes left. It's all a bit too close for comfort if you're a Switzerland fan. Embolo with that goal, it seems like an eternity ago now. In the 17th minute from the penalty spot. Rebecca Lowe, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Thierry Henry, Alexis Lalas waiting for us in the studio after the final whistle. Andouni was the player who went down.
Just wondering whether, looking at Switzerland and their selection at the start of the game, with Zakaria right back, all a bit conservative, all a bit too much about controlling the game. In danger of risking not having complete control over the last 5-10 minutes.
Here's Edmilson for Qatar. Akram Afif. Afif again. He's at the hub of most things creative where Qatar are concerned. Boudiaf. Sent over for, in the end, Akanji to deal with. Akram Afif. Took a little nick of Andouni, but same pair of hands. Gregor Kobel concentrating to the maximum for Switzerland.
Needed to watch it, didn't he? Needed to watch that and his crossbar and get everything right. And it's little moments like that, creeping into the last few minutes, that Qatar will keep hold on to. Just to say, we get one more of those, two more of those. That'll be our chance for first ever point at a World Cup.
Embolo trying to team up that time with Rida. Hassan Al-Hidous is going to be making an appearance for Qatar. He is the record appearances man for the Maroons. Huki was the player involved that time. He's not having it, is he?
And his manager, Lopetegui, is on the pitch. Doesn't agree with that, but through the back of Andouni.
The reaction of Julen Lopetegui. Suffice it to say, he disagreed. So the legend is on. Al-Hidous in the place of Edmilson. Can he make a positive difference?
Player number 8, Edmilson Jr.
Change for the Swiss with Miro Muheim. Out on the pitch now. Yashari as well, Adon Yashari. Euler Rodriguez departing. Muheim of Hamburg. Back in the Bundesliga this season. Put up themselves decently. Very much a forward-going full-back or wing-back on the left, Miro Muheim.
Yeah, looking at similar, fresh legs, but nothing really changing in terms of shape. You're just feeling Switzerland have got a little bit sloppy, a little bit lax with their passing, and Al-Hidous coming on, has got the know-how, he's got the experience to make a difference.
Akram Afif, look at this one. And, well, it was a weak shot from Ahmed Ala Eldin. He knows it.
It's poor, really. Could have done with another pass in there rather than twisting and turning. Had another option beyond him, and Manai was waiting for that ball.
In the 90th minute, Switzerland with the 1-goal advantage. Opening match for these two in Group B here at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So Kanji and Embolo can be a real handful. Embolo, Zakaria, and no takers. Ay, ay, ay.
It's too good a ball. Too good a ball from Zakaria. Really good from Embolo. That's what he can do. I've seen him do it a number of times, and that ball is just fantastic. It's not read by his teammates.
As you see on your screen, 6 added minutes, a minimum thereof. Amdouni, one of the substitutes, one of the men to have come on from Murat Yakin in this game. Akram Afif. The deflection was what made it potentially problematic for Corbeau. Away by Al-Haidous. 190th international appearance. It is a Qatari record. And Zambi upper cul-de-sac there for Switzerland. Xhaka. And it was blocked straight away. Amdouni.
He lives every minute of it, doesn't he? He still believes there's something in this for Qatar.
He's a member of the Spain squad. He's a goalkeeper at the 1994 World Cup. He was the third choice keeper back then. Always wanted to be a coach. Got into the way of coaching thinking while he was still keeping goal. He's had quite the career. Switzerland aren't going to be in any major rush here.
No, they're happy to take the 1-0 now. I think Yakin will look at it and say, created the chances, not had that clinical edge, that will come. But critics would say this hasn't been a scintillating performance. It hasn't been one that, thinking of one of the dark horses as the tournament.
And that should be Abu Nadaz, indeed it was, all the way. In by Yashari for the Swiss. Haven't really heard too many cries of Hopschwitz throughout this game. We know that Switzerland have higher gears to go to, and that's going to be the interesting thing, just how this performance is quantified, or do you even really quantify it, knowing that this is not a sprint, it's a bit of a marathon at the World Cup.
Find your feet, get your 3 points and move on. Initially, I think that's the way Switzerland will look at it. I think also in terms of a team they're playing against, look at Dan and Doig, Vargas and Embolo. They want space in behind, they want that area to run into. They haven't had that today.
Boudiaf with that angled ball. Pedro Miguel did well enough to head it on for Qatar. It was Manai in pursuit of it. Akanji was there. Now the Qatari fans will hope that they can take something from this game. Perhaps they can take something from the Canada match to come. Second game. What can they conjure here? Lays up again, there is the answer! It's unbelievable! The equaliser for Qatar from Boualem Houhi! 1-1. Drama, piled on drama.
Team celebrates. The whole of Qatar celebrates. They've stolen a point in the last minute, and it's the centre half going up at centre forward with a brilliant header. They've stayed in the game, wasted and bided their time, and it's a wonderful ball to the far post, and he's met like a centre forward, a bullet header. It's a fantastic moment for Qatar, fantastic moment for Houhi. And worked so hard just to stay in this game. They've got the reward.
Boualem Houhi. Qatari stole. desert. And this is how it came about. The view from the ref cam.
Just stood it up perfectly, asking to be attacked, and Huri scored so many goals from set pieces coming up as the centre half. And this was last throws of the dice, and it paid off.
Well, he always represents a scoring threat. Now look at the expression etched on the face there of Murat Yakin. Just as we were saying, Switzerland will want to put this to bed. 3 points on the board, move on. Now potentially problems for them in this group.
Well, it's something that they weren't really looking at. You listen to the guys in the studio, you listen to everyone around the ground. How many will it be? What will they do? Qatar not at the races.
Here's Manzambi. Has the capacity to change things, and it did take a little nick, so it will be a corner here for Switzerland. Action stations deep in stoppage time, and that really has changed the vibe. Rida. Rai who got it away. Rida once again, Abonada tried to claw it clear, and that is not going to help the Swiss cause. Yashari. And will that go down as the last chance? And just look at the emotion there. Fatih congratulating his keeper.
Well, it's celebrated like a goal, that punch. This means so much for them. The fans behind the goal waited and waited for that one scrap of a chance, that one opportunity.
Only the second World Cup goal. And it's over here in the Bay Area. Qatar have the maiden World Cup point. The men from the desert have found an oasis here on the American West Coast. Disappointment for Switzerland. 1-1 the final score. And with that, back to the studio.
Derek and Rob, thank you. Wow, Qatar lost all 3 group matches on home soil 4 years ago, but they have now earned their first ever World Cup point thanks to that late equaliser there against Switzerland. Let's take the scene now, which shifts to New York, New Jersey Stadium for one of the most anticipated matches of this group stage, maybe the most. 5-time champions Brazil taking on 2022 semi-finalist Morocco. Brazil lifted the trophy in the US right here back in 1994. Vinny Jr. hoping history repeats itself, and he is now managed by his former Real Madrid boss, Carlo Ancelotti. Brazil fans, well, they're always amongst the most colourful at every World Cup, but Morocco with plenty of support as well. We'll start getting you ready for this showdown when we come back this Saturday.
It says collect rewards. I didn't get shit. Now I just need some arms so I can at least be in the 350s. The Supergirl?
This Cinderella story. Also, by the way, what Morocco has done over the last years, men's, women's, all ages, with their infrastructure, everything that's going on, it's absolutely amazing. But from the national team perspective, men's national team, it's because they make kind of a Cinderella story. And that only goes and gets you so far. So I'm worried that, the spell might have not completely evaporated, but vanished when it comes to Morocco, or some of that magic. Let's see if they're able to conjure it again this World Cup.
And their manager's even saying, isn't he, we are no longer that small country. We now do have those expectations. Zlatan, let's talk about the manager of Brazil, Carlo Ancelotti. You played under him at PSG 10 or so years ago, and I say the word manager because that's important, isn't it, when it comes to Carlo Ancelotti and this Brazil team?
It is, it is. I know him personally. He's a fantastic human being. I had him as a manager, not coach. Difference between coach and manager is the coach will tell the player how to move, where to go, and how to play. Instead, a manager will manage the player. I'll give you an example. We had two right backs, and to make them feel comfortable, and I asked him, what do you do when you communicate with them? He said, first I go to the first one, and I tell him he's my best right back. Then I go to the other one, and I tell him also he's my best right back. And he would play them each week. So that is what a manager does. And he has a different challenge this time because it's the first time he's a coach for a national team and not a club team. But he's a manager for the big stage. And he has done it before. And I'm pretty sure he will do good this time too.
He's already had to make a big decision. One of the other big storylines is that Neymar is in the squad. Not in the team today, is injured, but he's in the squad. Like it?
Yes, I do, because it was a great move. He showed again that he is a good manager, because if he didn't bring Neymar, the talk of the town would always have been in the press conference, why is Neymar not there? The fans would have been upset, the press would have been upset. Some of the players actually called for him to be in. So what he did is, okay, I'm going to bring Neymar. Nobody's going to talk about it anymore. So now the pressure is on Neymar to be fit and ready. And if he comes back and fit and ready, people will say, what a great move. And if he's not, then Ancelotti can say, well, I brought him in, he couldn't get fit, so it's a win-win situation for him.
Thierry, Neymar fit plays or no?
A fit Neymar that I've seen in my time, yeah, plays in any team in the world. Fit, prime-time Neymar, yes.
Neymar today?
You answer that one.
New York, New Jersey Stadium will host 8 different matches at this World Cup, including the July 19th final. Rob Stone is there tonight for this Group C clash between Brazil and Morocco. For our Fox Keys to the match, sponsored by Jeep, let's head over and check in with Rob and the guys right now.
Thank you. What a beautiful scene in here outside New York, New Jersey Stadium. Listen, it's been a few lean years inside that stadium behind me for the hometown Giants and Jets. These guys have no clue what I'm talking about right now, but this they will. Today, 2 winning programs, 2 nations expected to make deep runs, hit the field behind us. Former Netherlands international Clarence Seedorf, ex-Denmark goalkeeper Peter Schmeichel here with us. When the draw took place in December in D.C. and these 2 were pulled into the same group, everyone circled this date. It's a rare top 10 group stage battle. Let's start, though, with Brazil. You played in the country for 2 years with Botafogo. What does this sport mean to them?
Well, it's like religion, as we say, but it's really like that. When I played there, you would go on the street. There was like 1 out of 3 would wear the shirt to go to work. I mean, you don't see that often, and the passion. So many games are played, of course, in Brazil. The people watch every single minute of it, and when the Brazilian team is playing, when the national team plays, it goes to a different level. Everything becomes yellow everywhere. The pride they carry in carrying their shirt of the team and of the country is amazing.
So the workers wear the shirt to work. Yes. The bosses are also wearing the.
Also the bosses, everybody. It doesn't really matter.
As well. Should we, though, Peter, still consider Brazil, a 5-time World Cup champion, a real contender this summer to win it all?
Yes, absolutely. So obviously done a lot of work in prep for different other things. I have Spain playing Brazil in the final, and I have that because I look at the talent they have. It's undisputed. It's a fantastic group of players, and they brought Carlo Ancelotti in, who for me is one of the best coaches in the world. He can deal with all the egos, all the bigness, everything. He gets maximum out of every single player that he's ever coached, and so yes, I think they are absolutely one of the favorites, and these guys here behind us, they will help.
I like the enthusiasm. Brazil is my team ever since I was a small kid, but they have underperformed so many years. they really need to earn their respect again. So they need to perform, show it. They have the team to do it, but for me, they're not the favorites at the moment. That's why they actually signed Carlo another 4 years, because they even know themselves that it might take a little bit longer. But you never know. It might happen right now.
I am a big believer in history, traditions, and things that's happened before. So, you know, it's 24 years since Brazil won the World Cup. Last time they won, it was 24 years before as well. And they have won in the USA before. So I see Brazil as one of the big favorites in this tournament.
Qualifying was a bit of a struggle for the five-time world champs. They lost 6 games, but they're here on the big stage again, right here outside the Big Apple. Brazil's current stars hoping to shine here in the New York area, which would mean following in the footsteps of their greatest ever player. A look back at Pele's time with the Cosmos next.
Si te quieres divertir, con el canto y con frijol. Hey, hey, hey. Como Bad Bunny va a ser del pop, hey, con reggaetón y dembow, hey, con reggaetón y dembow, sí.
Morocco on their way out to take to the field there in New York, New Jersey Stadium. This is the big one of the group stage. You have to say it's only coming on day 4. But Brazil against the 2022 World Cup finalists, so who's playing for them for the 2nd straight World Cup then. Morocco have made themselves a managerial change on the eve of the tournament with Mohamed Ouabi now in charge. The Atlas Lions are in good hands in goal with Yassine Bounou. Achraf Hakimi, you'll have heard of him, just helped PSG capture a 2nd straight Champions League crown. Bilal El Khanous will be counted on for inspiration, and Ismail Sayabari starts up front. Brazil playing their first World Cup match since the passing of Pelé, but his presence will be felt today, of course, and not just because of the success he enjoyed in a Brazil shirt. It was Pelé's arrival in New York in the mid-1970s that laid the groundwork for the United States to become a footballing nation in the decades to come.
People say soccer arrived in America in 1994. Hey, look, I get it. It's neat. It's tidy. Americans, we like knowing when the movie starts. Truth is, it started much earlier. Way up in the cosmos. Yeah, the actual cosmos. Like outer space. With a machine called Telstar. And in 1970, that little machine made the world feel a whole lot smaller. Suddenly, a kid in Brooklyn could see what a kid in Rio was seeing. But it's what they were watching that changed everything.
Scene is set in Mexico City.
Mexico, the World Cup. The first broadcasted around the globe. The first in color. And what a color it was. Brazil, the yellow shirts, the blue shorts, the green grass. Then came the king, Pelé.
A majestic header by the famous Brazil number 10.
The passing, the feints, the beauty, and just like that, the whole thing stopped feeling foreign. Now that we got the origin story straight, here's the domino that knocked the whole door down. New York City, 1975. The richest contract in sports history. Go ahead, guess. Ali, Kareem, Broadway Joe? Nah. Pelé, a soccer player in America. The highest paid athlete on earth. The team? The New York Cosmos.
Here's the man they've been waiting for here in New York City.
5 years after a signal came down from the heavens carrying the World Cup into American living rooms. Hey, maybe a coincidence. Maybe not. Either way, the fever was real.
Begins to Jack Pelé.
The sold-out crowds were real.
The return of Pelé has attracted worldwide interest.
I don't really know any other players, but I just come to see Pelé.
The love was real.
Thunderous ovation for soccer's greatest player.
And for a moment, the world's game belonged to the world city. Soccer didn't come to America in 1994. By then, it was coming back.
Great piece, great memories for our Fox Country Profile, sponsored by Google. Brazil's World Cup pedigree, second to none. They're the all-time leaders in appearances, titles, victories and goals scored. But it has been an uncomfortable wait for a 6th title, so much so that they've turned to a foreign manager for the first time, as we've been saying, of course, Carlo Ancelotti. So Brazil against Morocco is coming up, and what a matchup, Alexi. But we looked at that feature there. We've spoken about Brazil. How do they get back there?
Well, look, they have the history, they have the aesthetic, a lot of yellow already we're seeing in that stadium. That's all fine and well, but they got to provide the sexy. They have to do it individually in terms of the players that they have. Some of the players that we saw, they don't exist anymore in this Brazilian team. Doesn't mean that they can't do it. And then collectively, it's obviously winning. If Brazil were to come out against Morocco in this first game and put their stamp on the tournament and kind of remind people of what Brazil can be in the fashion that they do it, whoo, look out. Now everybody's on board. It's Brazil back. It's, you know, it's what we expect from a Brazilian team. So they have to win, but they also have to entertain to get us to associate it with previous teams.
Okay, so Zlatan, how far away are they from old Brazil?
it's all about winning. They're haunted by the history of Brazil. And if you look back in the days, the players they had, those guys were idols. One of my idols is Ronaldo the Phenomenal. And it was different kind of players that they have today. But if they win, they put themselves in those history books, and that is where you measure and start to, how do you say, compare the player by player. But like Alexis said, the players from before, they were magic. They were entertaining the stadiums. You put on that TV and you saw the 4 Rs like Rivaldo, Romario, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo. Just these 4 names, the studio is shaking. So it's not easy, but if they win, obviously, you put yourself there.
And of course,
but they need to win.
Okay, so winning first, but trying to win. Carlo Ancelotti just doesn't have those kind of names to choose from, especially in that number 9 role. Today, he's gone with Igor Thiago of Brentford, a middle-range club, really, from England's Premier League, Thierry.
Well, it doesn't really matter is what the guy can produce, and I think it is their best 9. I'm talking about the position, not what people can do. I think it's the best 9. But we're going back to the history. I had the opportunity to win the World Cup against them, and the first thing I did when the referee blew the whistle to tell you how powerful Brazil is, I ran to get the shirt of Ronaldo Phenomenal. Because of it. Yes, I'm not ashamed to say it. I ran to go and get it. This is what they do. This is not true. This is what they do represent. But one thing that you guys are mentioning about the player, ex-players, and the quality and the weight, it took them 24 years to win it from 70 to 94, and they had great players before also, and sexy players or whatever. But I do believe also that efficiency is sexy. What those players used to do before, they used to entertain, but one opportunity was a goal. They used to be efficient. That's very important. They need to go back to that, whatever skill they have.
You can be sexy and ruthless at the same time.
Yes, exactly.
But I believe also those players are fading away a little bit.
Yes,
because the modern game today is more collective than the shiny star.
Okay, well, Brentford fans will tell you that Igor Thiago definitely sexy this past season. Now, the big question, given their recent struggles, is where Brazil find themselves in this summer's first edition, everybody, of Alexis' famous power rankings. Go for it, please.
Speaking of sexy, all right, here we go. Back by popular demand. You know it, you love it. My power rankings. The top 10 teams in this World Cup tournament as of today. And again, a reminder, these are my power rankings. You want some power rankings? Go get your own power rankings, all right? These are mine. They are a work in progress throughout the tournament. I might get up and say, wow, this team is really turning me on. Or I might get up and say, well, this team is not turning me on here. U.S., by the way, they turned everybody on last night. So you can see right there, coming in at number 9, the good old U.S. of A. Up top, Thierry, you're France, all right? Shouldn't be necessarily a surprise, but keep in mind, just as you go up, you can go down as the tournament goes along. Gentlemen, you saw my rankings there, and again, they will change as we go along. I see you shaking your head a little bit. Are you okay with what you saw there?
I didn't see my name in that list.
Of course.
Come on,
it would be Zlatan and then the other 10 teams.
Exactly. Thank you.
United States in 9th?
Yes.
Okay. Were you tempted to go higher?
They're coming off a historic win.
Well, could they be higher?
Where do you have Portugal?
Sweden.
Oh, no.
Come on. Hold on. Well, they're going to have to do something very, very special to get into the
Where do you have Portugal?
Let's see. I got Portugal coming in at number 5.
Do you see the reaction of Zlatan with Aisha Speed? And now I gave the look. I gave the look to Aisha Speed not because of Ronaldo. I gave the look to Aisha Speed because I think France will win.
I kicked him out of the studio. What do you say?
But Portugal is 5th. What do you...
Yeah. Okay, more on the power rankings.
Hey, look, I
the
put
next
England
5 or 6 weeks. Guys, continue the conversation just over there.
Can we?
Both Brazil and Morocco, please, with a chance to impress Alexis today at New York, New Jersey Stadium. Let's check in with the pair that will call the match for us here on Fox today. It's John Strong and Stu Holden.
Rob, it is loud down here on the field. It's hot down here on the field. It's going to help when the sun sets behind the stands. And let's talk about Morocco here for a minute. This is a team that was the hunters of the last World Cup. They are the hunted now. They are expected by their fans to, yes, even beat Brazil. How do they do that? How do they handle this new level of pressure?
Well, they're not going to catch anybody by surprise, as we know, because we've been talking so much about how good this Moroccan team is. The interesting part of that as well is they've gone from this defensive hard to break down team that doesn't concede goals into now a team that wants to play with the ball. Well, good luck playing with the ball against Brazil, who also want to have the ball and can play very dynamic. I think, as we've seen in a lot of these games early in the tournament, it's the team that really asserts their dominance early in the match. This Moroccan team has belief, they have confidence, but also they have a lot of talent within the game. And I think if they can keep the ball against this Brazilian team and be effective with the ball, that's going to wear down a Brazilian team that's also looking to try to figure out what version of themselves they are going to be within this tournament.
And for more on the Brazilian story here in New Jersey, we welcome the newest member of our Fox Sports family, Natalie Jedra.
Thank you, John. We've been with the Brazilian camp in the past few days, and we can really sense a positivity amongst the players, even though they did have kind of a rocky road to 2026, but that's all in the past. And the main reason for it is called Carlo Ancelotti. The players really have responded well to him. Alisson even mentioned Brazilian's goalkeeper, said that he completely transformed the environment since he arrived. And the main thing that Brazil is trying to get across their fans is trying to encourage them to believe again. We see banners everywhere that says bate no peito, which means pat on the chest. Alisson himself, he told me that he chose to learn from the disappointments from the past and move forward. Now over to you, Rob.
All right, Natalie, thank you. Speaking of Alisson, he said recently about Ancelotti, quote, perhaps he has more pressure than being the president of the country. Okay, yeah, soccer's a big deal in Brazil. We know that. Clarence, you played for Ancelotti in your prime at AC Milan. Why is he successful everywhere he goes?
Well, I think that he understood his qualities. I mean, when you start winning and he's a very humble person, you analyze, the things that went well. He also knew he just had to be himself. So him being very authentic, have this very much human approach to managing his players, adaptability, because one thing is winning in Italy as an Italian, but then he started to move around. He went to Chelsea, he went to Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain in the middle, Bayern. The man is talking different languages now, which was impossible to think about when he didn't even say hi in English at that point. So, I mean, he has, I think, embraced his main quality, which is really to understand the people, the person behind the player, and give them their space, make sure they feel comfortable to really get the maximum out of them.
Let's talk about his team. Where is the strength of this Brazil outfit?
Well, I would say the spine of the team is very, very strong. It's got there's a Premier League look at that. You got obviously Alisson in goal. You got Gabriel there. You got Casemiro. You got Bruno Guimaraes, Lucas Paqueta. That's strong, physical. This is the guys in the studios talk about. They don't have those players anymore. No one has those players anymore. That's not what football looks like these days. But they've got enough of, for me, enough of special talent in players like Vini Jr., Rafinha, for instance, to do that little extra unexpected thing that in these tight games gives you a chance, an opportunity to score or even score a goal. So I would say the strength up through the spine is very, very strong. And there's a lot of physicality there, but there's also incredible amount of flair around this team. And that's what you need these days.
Yeah, I mean, you said it well. I think up front, Brazil always has amazing players. Even though we don't have the R9 anymore and the Ronaldinhos and the Rivaldos, we still have Rafinha, we still have Vinicius Juniors, who are at the top of the list when it comes to the best players in the world. So they still have enough magic on the pitch to make some magic happen today.
And a guy like Marquinhos with the captain's armband is going to be vital for them as well.
100%. He's a real leader. I mean, his season has been amazing. I think he stood out in this season more than last season when they won the Champions League. He was really up there with the best of the world, and now with more experience. So, and this is a guy who can say, hey, Vinny, you need to come back, my friend.
Clarence, good segment. Well done. Looking at the collection of fans behind us, about 75-25 in favor of Brazil. Let's go down on the field. How about this collection of talent? Neymar, who's unavailable tonight due to a calf injury. That's Travis Scott. And eventually, there he is, Tom Brady in the house for this one. And what a weekend to be a sports fan here in New York. Knicks in Game 5 of the NBA Finals later. But first, the most anticipated group stage game of the summer. Our players to watch next.
1984 was a wonderful team. It wasn't necessarily the sexiest Brazilian team out there. So they do have to have some pragmatism regardless of who you are.
Yeah, reminder that when it was back here in 1994, Brazil were the winners. Let's go out to Clarence Seedorf, Peter Schmeichel and Rob Stone for some final thoughts.
Rebecca, thank you. Quarterfinal exit back in 2022. Despite big billing for Brazil, you see their national team in the tunnel right there. A bit of a delayed entrance, which is very New York, very Broadway, right? Keep the crowd waiting and energized. You see all the canary yellow behind us, and now you see these two nations in the tunnel. Brazil ranked number 6 in the world, Morocco number 7. I know a majority of the pregame show, Clarence, has been talked about Brazil. Let's not sleep. Let's hold the pause button here. Let's hear this reaction as Brazil and Morocco make their way out onto the field finally here in New York, New Jersey. For me, this is the best addition to the World Cup. Alan Parsons Project, Syria, Chicago Bulls, and Michael Jordan coming out onto the field. And Brazil has been the Michael Jordan of international soccer for years. But as of late, Clarence, they have not lived up to their standards. Why are you so high on them this summer?
Well, I think they have something to prove, but without the pressure that they've had always on their shoulders over the last years. So I think that the pragmatic word that we used before, pragmatic, has been always the second skin of Brazil. Attacking and defending. Defend pragmatically, attack pragmatically. One chance, one goal. Anything that comes near to the goal, just wipe it away.
It's a very interesting Morocco team. It's not the same from 3.5 years ago, and it's not the same from January. So to see what they can do today, well, that's going to be the interesting thing for me.
At this time, we ask you please rise if you are able for the national anthem of Brazil.
out to prove that their semifinal run 4 years ago was no fluke. Brazil won it all here in the United States in '94. Can they do it again in 2026?
There's dreaming about it, and then there's living it with Platinum. Get access to the largest global airport lounge network, dining benefits at over 10,000 U.S. Resi restaurants, and exclusive access to unique experiences worldwide that stay with you long after the encore. There's nothing like Platinum. Amex is a proud partner of Olivia Rodrigo.
Okay, here's the deal. This game, it's 3-on-3. Who we playing? It's a local crew. I'm flying. Hey! This local crew, they haven't lost since 1996. They beat everyone who showed up. The guys who play in jeans, the always skins. Honestly, respect. The techers, the trash talkers, even the bruisers. Anyone, anytime, they would take them down. Best of three? This doesn't seem real. What? It's 100% true. Mostly.
FIFA World Cup 2026 on Fox is presented by Lay's.
The name of the stadium is New York, New Jersey. It might as well be Rio Rabat. 80,000 fans are packed inside. They're all wearing either yellow or red. It is maybe the most anticipated game of this World Cup group stage. It is Brazil against Morocco. It is a VAR crew that hopes they don't have to be overly decisive in this game today. It is an on-field officiating crew picked very specifically for what could be a very combustible game here today. Let's take a look at the lineups.
And for a very experienced coach in Carlo Ancelotti, this is his first World Cup lineup that he rolls out, very anticipated who he was going to go with. One of the question marks was at the fullback position with Wesley going down, and is Roger Ibanez. He gets just his 8th appearance after being called back by Ancelotti after a 2.5-year absence. The center backs speak for themselves. Marquinhos and Gabriel, two players that played against each other in the Champions League final. Guimaraes and Casemiro will have to hold it down in the middle, but that front four is frightening and something that Morocco are going to have to deal with. Bono, very experienced goalkeeper. 4 of these players were starters in 2022. Onahi, the only starting player in this lineup that was born in Morocco. And Nawi is a player that I'm looking for in the middle, coming off a very good season in Roma, 24 years old, ball tempo. But Ashraf Hakimi, that right fullback, he will be up and down that right-hand side. Very fascinated to see the matchup between him and Vinicius Junior.
As some have been at pains to point out, yes, it is a more forgiving group stage in one sense in the new format of this tournament. But the other way to think about it is whoever walks out of here as a loser is going to hear about it at home and has the opportunity to be drawn into a bit of a spiral. This is as high stakes as it can get when you have these two big teams playing against one another first. And we talked last night about the significance and the importance of that first result in a 3-game group stage. It's absolutely as well two teams whose fan bases and local media have expectations of being back in this stadium in 5 weeks for the final of this FIFA World Cup. The headliner from day 3 in North America between Brazil and Morocco is underway. It is Brazil in the famous canary yellow. It is the Atlas Lions of Morocco wearing red. Brazil, the most successful team in the history of the World Cup, which is why we say things like they haven't won it since 2002, or they've only been to the quarterfinal in the last 2 editions. But here's what is true. They're coming in off their worst ever qualifying campaign. Last time they were in this country for a tournament 2 years ago, it was an unremarkable, if not ugly, Copa America. And they have pinned so much hopes on a guy that's not even on the field, their head coach, to help turn things around. On the other side, Morocco, they were the darlings of the last World Cup. First African nation to reach a semifinal. They flew the flag for the Arab world at the first Arab World Cup. But it's not been so straightforward since. Whether or not they can claim to be champions of Africa is something to be decided in a courtroom in Switzerland in the months ahead. They recently changed their coach. They lost 2 starters to injury just this week. And a huge flying tackle inside of about 60 seconds. And maybe that's the point. Do the players, do the coaches, do the fans, do the media on either side really know what to expect in this game today from their teams?
Well, I'm even trying to figure out initially what we're going to see from Carlo Ancelotti's Brazil, because he's shown a bunch of different things in the friendlies that he has coached. As Elanawi with a really early nice nutmeg. That's a key player, as I mentioned, in the game. Looking to get now this right-hand side where they really attack through Hakimi.
Achraf Hakimi now. And couldn't get through. Douglas Santos who's able to get it clear.
But the biggest thing I have noticed, at least when Brazil were in possession, is they've got Vini Jr. way out on that left-hand side. They want him 1v1, but also interchangeable with Rafinha. But then it's Paquetá who's coming inside and out. The midfield is going to be key today on who wins this match. And this is a different version, again, of Morocco for a team that, in their run to 2022, was defensive, transition type of team that made life difficult. Now they want to play with the ball. They have players playing at top leagues all across the world, and today they want to show that they can hang with Brazil.
Carlo Ancelotti is one of the most successful club managers of his generation. He's won the Champions League multiple times at AC Milan and at Real Madrid, and maybe his superpower more than anything else is calming turbulent storms. And you think about Real Madrid, that's a global brand with a fan base that expects excellence and artistry. Not altogether different from Brazil. That's why they chased him for 3 years before they got him to become head coach. Roger Ibanez, one of the players drafted him because of injury, commits the foul. Here comes a Moroccan set piece.
And set pieces are an area where Morocco looked to get advantages. 5 of their last 10 goals coming off of set piece situations. Good at attacking free kicks. El Khanous just draws that challenge there. And now the first opportunity at what, I was going to say against the Brazilian end, but I would say it's about an 80-20 split with yellow shirts. Right behind that goal that Morocco attacking right now.
You can tell the Moroccans are outnumbered if you want. They certainly don't act that way. Bilal El Khanous to take. And it's flicked on by a Brazilian defender. And they're battling the sun, the way the sun is coming over the far side of the field there and is in the eyes of players looking in one direction. That'll be a part of the theme. It's certainly a lot warmer in the sun. It's a warm day in New York, but nothing that players from Morocco or Brazil haven't played their whole lives in. Good work by Brahim Diaz there to wriggle away from the pressure. Khanous cut out. Paquetá, a nice move on the outside. He's getting pulled back there by Mazraoui on the outside. Referee saw nothing wrong with it. Recovers it. He into the middle. Brahim Diaz. Hakimi on the outside. Douglas Santos comes to meet him. It pops away there for Munahi, but Morocco able to keep it.
Good possession early in this game from Morocco, pinning Brazil back a touch. They're really comfortable in possession and will continue to work down that right side with Diaz and now Hakimi again.
Hakimi, Diaz was kind of walking it in. Shot takes the block, cleared away. Casemiro was there to deal with it, out for a throw. Mohamed Wabi, who was winning the under-20 FIFA World Cup with Morocco's youth team in the fall, was not expecting to be the coach of this team. But the pressure finally caved in on Walid Regragui, who was the coach of the last World Cup. As he said, this team needs a new face, a new voice, a new energy. But Wabi has had really 3 games before this one to try to figure that out. Great move, Mazraoui on the outside. Into the middle, it comes, first chance of the game, and it was blocked and cleared away. Bruno Guimaraes there, got his body in front of it. Brahim Diaz double team, loses out. Brazil under some real pressure right now, though, and that's going to be a Morocco throw.
It's El Ainaoui who has that opportunity arriving late at the top of the box. They're really picking on Ibanez down that left-hand side. Good work by El Khanous. Initially cuts the ball back, doesn't catch it cleanly.
El Khanous again. Not that one clean, but Lucas Paquetá had his body in the way. And can Morocco win the ball back high up the field? Nice ball in. Hakimi, tight angle across the face of goal.
And when he picks this ball up in a nice spot, he gets turned, has a look. There's nobody in the box, no options for him to try to square this one across goal. So then at the last minute decides, I've got to shoot this, trying to aim for that far post. Just pulled it across the goal. But right now, some of the movement in the attacking phase causing Brazil defensively a lot of problems. Brazil defending out of a 4-4-2, but trying to leave Rafinha and Thiago a little bit higher up, but it's leaving them a man light once Morocco get deeper into their end.
Play on for advantage as Paquetá was fouled. It's miscontrolled in the middle, though. Guadi knocks it away. Diaz of Real Madrid rolls it forward. Ismail Saibari has it now. Brahim Diaz, one of a number of players that have come into this Morocco team since the last World Cup that their fans have very high hopes for. There's a good step on the outside there. Igor Thiago given the start up front in this game. Really the first chance in almost 8 minutes Brazil have had to pin Morocco back with some attacking possession. Good work by, as you mentioned, the midfield, the importance, the Moroccan midfield collapse there and win the ball away, but they can't keep it. Casemiro into the middle. Rafinha took a block, falls kindly to Mazraoui. Great first touch by El Khanous to get away from Ibanez on the outside. Guadi now cuts it back inside, had Saibari, rolls it in the middle instead. El Khanous moves it along. Brahim Diaz, that pinballs around. Hakimi trying to get there. Big collision with Gabriel. And the whistle goes for a foul and a free kick for Brazil.
Well, it's a strong challenge in the box from Gabriel, but the first strong challenge we've really seen from a Brazilian player. Doing too many what I call flybys, where you're just kind of running at an attacking player, but not getting your feet set, not getting low. And the Moroccan players right now just skipping past Brazilian defenders, running at the back line, opening up the defense. And they look very dangerous every time they come forward, especially down this left-hand side. In fact, both flanks, whether it's Brahim Diaz or El Khanous, he looks really lively in possession and not afraid to run at his defender, Ibanez, and they're creating a lot of opportunities right now.
Lucas Paquetá couldn't control that cleanly. El Khanous now quickly in transition. Into the middle. 4 Brazilian shirts able to close down on Nahi there, and then a foul committed.
A little bit of a careless turnover. Marquinhos plays it to Paquetá, takes it flat. Doesn't have his body position right now. There's only one way he can go, which is back towards his defender. So if you don't bounce it back, he takes a heavy touch. You see his pocket get picked. El Khanous once again then finds Unahi, who's trying to dance. No foul there. But that's just been the last part missing so far in the early stages of this game, where Morocco have looked good in setting traps, winning the ball back, playing effectively with the ball in possession, just missing that final touch. But a good start for the Moroccans and forcing another turnover.
Saibari was running furthest forward. He'll get it now. Saibari able to turn. Quick shot was blocked. can tell the confidence that Morocco bring into this game and into this tournament. It's been a remarkable few years. They've, again, won the Under-20 World Cup. They've won competitions in Africa for domestic-based players. They're frustrating the Brazilians. They're frustrating the Brazilian fans. Mazraoui is Saibari making the run. It's knocked down off the back there of Marquinhos. Kind of hacked to the clearance, does just enough, and Brazil get a free kick.
But there's a lot of finger pointing going around right now on the Brazilian side defensively. Even Paquetá, when he was played around a couple of times there with a pass, he's turned around pointing, hey, who's supporting me? Who's covering? I'm surprised that you've got Carlo Ancelotti now coming up off his bench, and he's giving the motion to his team. Hey, come on, let's get going. And we'll see how long he maybe goes before making any little tweaks to his system. And he's certainly not a coach that's going to panic, but he won't like what he's seen from the early stages of this game right now.
They've dealt with some absences lately. They're starting right back. Wesley was lost to an injury a week ago in their last warm-up game in Cleveland. Eder Militao, who was the starter at right back at the last World Cup, he was already out hurt. A couple attacking players as well. So much focus on Neymar, who, as you saw, on the squad, but out for this game with an injury. Morocco in the same boat. Only 4 of these players were starters in the last World Cup. The center backs are brand new. They had to scratch 2 players from their roster for injuries on Wednesday night. Canu's pressure. Paquetá gets it away. Rafinha, that's a great touch in front of Hakimi to control. Vinicius Jr., maybe for the first time all game. Now on the ball, running it out, Achraf Hakimi, getting to the byline, into the middle. Igor Thiago skipped off the front of his forehead.
Well, it felt like that play was going to be broken up, if not for just amazing skill from Rafinha in the middle of the field. They get it out to Vinny Jr., and Igor Thiago just misses this one on the doorstep. That's why he's there, coming in off a great season with Brentford in the Premier League. There's questions about whether he was going to start or would it be Cunha. They went with a more traditional striker. Finally, you get Vinny 1v1. He beats his man wide. Great ball in the box, 5 yards out. You've got to bury that. Just took his eye off it at the last second.
But does that kickstart things a little bit for Brazil? Alisson going long. Rafinha tracking this in the sun, and he's able to nod it along, but alert to the danger. El Ainaoui to keep it away from Vinicius.
But I don't mind that idea from a Brazilian perspective there. Sometimes going a little bit more direct and vertical because you have the speed of Vinny Jr. You have Rafinha, who's now coming a little bit more inside. This is the set that they want to have. They just haven't been able to get in it with Morocco's possession of the ball. They want Paquetá floating inside. Now they can overload the middle of the field. They can get Rafinha a little bit more free and stretched and hopefully isolate Vinny Jr. So it's a Brazilian team, as I said at the beginning of the game, they want to control the game with the ball. They just haven't had the ball.
Lucas Paquetá saw Rafinha making that same run, and Yassine Bono, comfortable catch for him. Thiago with the pressure and the foul. As you mentioned, a historic season for him at Brentford and inches away from giving Brazil the early lead.
His positioning was great. Starts a little bit deeper. Sure they wouldn't mind a couple of those guys out on the field. Ronaldo, Kaká, Roberto Carlos.
Multiple World Player of the Year awards, and whatever suite that was, as that's miscontrolled. Mayunahi. You see Gabriel getting a bit frustrated for the lack of options he had. He's on a field in a match for the first time since missing that decisive penalty in the Champions League final. consoled immediately by Marquinhos, despite the fact that Marquinhos had in that moment won the Champions League final with PSG. Marquinhos knows how it feels, though. It was his missed penalty that saw Brazil go out of the last World Cup in the quarterfinal against Croatia. As Hakimi wins that duel with some help against Vinicius Jr. That's a part of the storyline as well, that the two captains, Marquinhos and Achraf Hakimi, have been teammates for the last 5 years at Paris Saint-Germain. As Rafinha said at one point, we know this Morocco team well. They're maybe the only African team we know well. In no small part because of not just their success in the last World Cup, but how many high-profile players that they have been able to get out of their diaspora. As you mentioned, only one player actually born in Morocco in this Moroccan team, and only 2 raised in Morocco. Bono, the goalkeeper, is actually born in Canada. That stays in play. Vini Jr. and the fans on the far side of the stadium all stand up when he's on the ball. Lucas Paquetá. Whipped in by Casemiro. Rafinha off the chest. Igor Thiago beaten to it by Bono. And now Bono wants to go quick with the punt the other way. He mishit it, though.
You know, kind of to that point, John, about we both saw it at the same time, the fans coming to their feet. I had to take my headset off just to confirm. It's actually not a super loud atmosphere out there yet. The Moroccans are louder, and I'm wondering if there's just a sense from some of the Brazilian fans right now of entertain us and give us something to get excited about. And Vini Jr. is certainly a player that can do that, but there's an element in the waiting right now, and the cheering is coming a lot from the Moroccan fans when Brazil is in possession, and another casual turnover there.
And Natalie Gedra, who's here with us reporting on Brazil, that was a part of our conversation with her before the game, is how many Brazilians are watching this game kind of with their hands in front of their face and just parting their fingers. Not a ton of confidence at home about this Brazil team. Good work by Igor Thiago to win that ball away. Into the middle for Rafinha. Try to slip it through. Vini Jr. couldn't turn cleanly. Achraf Hakimi breaking that play up at the last moment, out for a corner.
Well, Rafinha has been a bright spot for them. If he can find these positions where he can just get turned and face the field, then it gets runners off him. Hakimi thought that Vinicius Jr. was offside, but he was actually kept onside by Mazraoui on the near side of the... Couldn't quite get the ball out of the spokes, but it's clear behind. It's going to be the first corner of the game for Brazil.
Bruno Guimaraes in no rush to walk over and gets a drink of water before he sets to take this. The sun is right in his eyes, but it's not going to affect any of the players waiting for this ball. Swung into a good spot, headed right to the top of the box. Vinicius Jr. closed down. Paquetá off balance and blocked. And Morocco able to scramble it away.